We are back on the Sheila Mack Show, and I have a special guest. This is Stephanie, and Stephanie, she has always loved Halloween, and now she has created a clothing line based on this. So she had a love for Halloween, horror movies, the paranormal, cats, and she wanted to bring her love for these things to others with apparel and accessories that have fun sayings. So her dream has always been to be a designer, but unfortunately, she wasn't able to use her design degree. So now she is finally starting out, and she's going to share more about all she's doing. All right, welcome to the show, Stephanie.
Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it. So I'm very excited to be here and talk all about my clothing line.
All right, now share the name of your company.
Yeah, so it's called Wicked Cat Clothing. So Wicked, I got from my love for Halloween and witches. So that's where I got Wicked. And cat, I love cats. I have 2 cats. So Wicked Cat and Clothing. It just popped into my head one day, and that was it. That was my name.
Fun. And so this is something that you are starting out on. Let me know now, so that's what guided you to this. How far along are you on this process? And what did that look like getting started to create a clothing line?
Yeah, I actually started last October because of Halloween. So that gave me the idea to start this. Then some personal things happened and I quit it. And then in January, I decided, when the pandemic, was still around and I didn't have a lot to do, I was like, I'm going to go full force on this. So in January of this year is when I've really started just hammering out new designs, new ideas, working with different people to do collaborations. I built my own website, so I'm always slowly working on that. So that's been my foray into it so far. And I just hope it continues to grow because this is my passion and what I love to do.
How fun. And so tell me about some of the accessories and designs that you've created so far.
Yeah, so I started with t-shirts. I was just going to do t-shirts and just t-shirts with cats and fun sayings. But then I met with a designer, and he's actually designing really cool, different paranormal things. So ghosts, witches, and stuff like that. So I have a bunch of t-shirts, and then I went into hoodies, and I kind of went from there. So I actually have dresses, and this summer I'm coming out with, I have bathing suits and beach towels, and I have all the different kind of mugs you could ever want for your house. I have every saying and design in a mug, and I have some keychains, and I have little cat tags. They could be a dog tag too, but I have it cat because of, for my cats. So those are some fun accessories that I have that go really nicely with the shirt or hoodie you purchase.
Wow. I actually grew up in the clothing manufacturing industry. So
wow.
My grandparents, I stayed with my grandparents from 3 years old on for quite a while, and they owned Catalina Sportswear. They did White Stag, which is still in stores today.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, Catalina created swimsuits. A lot of the people in Hollywood wore grandma's swimsuits, and she made bras. So when I made my book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation, I had to bring the bra in. And
that's awesome.
I was 3 years old, and every day we would go to what grandma called the factory. And with this factory, it was literally like 200 employees that were designing, cutting. They were cutting into the fabric and making the patterns, and they were sewing things up. There were needles everywhere. And my friend says, "Aren't you afraid of needles?" I was like, "Oh no." Needles were everywhere. And so that was what I grew up with. And when I finally entered school, it was kind of bizarre because my kindergarten teacher, I told her I had watched grandma sell all her friends' bras. And so I said, "No, you could really use a new bra." After school, the teacher goes up to my grandparents and says, "She sold me a bra. Do you make bras?"
Already a salesperson.
Yes. And that was because that's all I knew. I had no idea how to play with the kids. No clue. I was like, I know how to cut patterns. They'd have me practice and remnants and this and that. And so it was such an interesting time and something that So that's like, I still feel fabric.
Mm-hmm.
I still will go and feel the fabrics and pick things out in a very different way and create my own styles. My daughter's the same way. She's very into dressing her own way. She loves Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be your best client for sure.
Yeah, and so I've actually been sewing and knitting from a really young age. I can't even remember. I was probably 4 or 5, and my mom put me in sewing and knitting classes. So I've been doing some form of design my whole life. And
Mhm.
that's why I decided I wanted to go to the Art Institute of Seattle. But I realized I was not going to be the next Calvin Klein, which I went in there as, a young 18-year-old. I'm going to be Calvin Klein. And that was quickly shot down. So I ended up going to a regular university to get a regular degree. But, the pandemic has really brought things to light, what's really important to me, and designing is really important to me. So
Mhm.
I myself like to go pick out the fabrics, and I'm a very unique dresser. And so I agree with you on wanting to feel things. I don't like to buy fabric or yarn online. I
Right.
have to go see it. So I agree with you 100% on that one.
Yes, and it's so interesting how we are drawn to what we're supposed to be doing no matter what, and it'll keep showing up because I mean,
Yep,
what
that's right.
but
Yep.
wicked cats are it's on its way and that's the thing is that when it's aligned and it's right and you're just having fun,
Yes,
you're doing
exactly.
love, you've added, the holidays and things that you're interested in to make it fun. And that really makes all the difference. A lot of times we end up getting this degree. Years ago, I got a degree. My first degree, I was a young pregnant mom. So 17 years
Wow.
old, this young kid. And I went and got a degree for programming.
Wow.
And so this was like DOS. That's how old I am. Like it was churning. It was just at the time when things were shifting over, but it was still DOS. And I had to learn all this boring stuff. And I even had to teach myself math because I left school early. And
No,
so
I don't like math.
I had to do all this that I didn't like. And before you know it, they had me teaching the safety training classes and leading groups and talking with people. And I was like, oh,
Hmm.
home. This is home for me. The
Yeah.
programming, even my body hurt. I had the carpal tunnel. I was putting my wrists in ice because I didn't want to lose the job because I've had this baby to support and all that. And I was guided to do everything I love. And it took time. And what was interesting is when I made that shift,
Hmm.
there were all those people that didn't think that was going to be for me, or
Hmm.
it didn't make sense monetarily, or it didn't make sense to them because they were following a traditional path. And I don't know,
Yes.
maybe I was born a little early for my thinking because I was like, no, I'm going to create my own path. I'm good.
Exactly. My family, they just went on the regular route. You were a nurse, a doctor, or a teacher. That's
Mhm.
not me. I went into marketing, and that was like the devil to them. So that's a good thing. On the flip side, I got my degree in marketing, so I can do all my own marketing. That's very helpful. But it's slow. You're starting a small business, but I love it, and I put everything I can into it. And you're right about the universe. I feel this just came to me, and I've had so much wonderful things said to me and about me, and it's been really like heartwarming, honestly. So I appreciate that.
So now, if you could go back in time and tell your younger self
Hmm.
some kind of advice for preparing for your clothing line, what would that be?
I would have said to my younger self when I got out of the Art Institute to not give up and go. I did decide to go that traditional route. I mean, not degree wise, I didn't per my family, but I went to that, regular university. I wish I had just kept at it, But I am very impulsive and impatient. And if it doesn't happen right away, I get upset. And so I move on. I wish I had told myself to just relax and just a little bit every day. Just do a little bit every day towards your clothing, which is what I do now,
Nice.
and I can only see what's happening now. So if I could just tell myself to just wait, just be patient. So I hear that from people all the time. They say in their 40s, 50s, I wish I could have been patient back then. And I'll say that now,
Yeah,
just be patient, follow your dream. Totally. I'm so happy. I
yeah.
am so happy doing it.
That's so good. And could you share maybe on some of your designs
Mhm.
maybe the memory of the essence of a Halloween or celebration that brought you to that design.
So regarding I have a Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary shirt. It's kind of funny I say it 3 times because what reminded me, my best friend and I, we were in second grade. She's the one I watched horror movies with in second grade. Okay, my mom didn't care, surprisingly, and her mom didn't care. We tried to watch Bloody Mary, and we ran in the bathroom, and we could only get to Bloody Mary twice, and then we ran out. And so that is the inspiration behind the Bloody Mary, because it was on Halloween and we thought we were going to get sucked into the mirror by Bloody Mary. And it's funny because all these years later, her sister is my hairdresser and remembers that time and bought a Bloody Mary sweatshirt from me
Oh my
because she
God.
was littler than us and remembers us running out of the bathroom screaming because we couldn't get to number 3.
Oh my gosh. I remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a fun memory, right? We were really terrified, but I look back on it and laugh.
Wow. I love that. And how about another one?
So regarding just my wicked cat, actually, my first cat, he lived for 22 years and he was an orange tabby.
Mhm.
And so I found the design I thought really meant for him because he is still with me.
Yeah.
So it fades from white to yellow to orange. And he was all of those kind of together. And he was always with me. And I have this really cute picture. I have him in a tub when I'm little, and I have my witch costume on, and I'm holding it like he's in a little tub and I have my costume on, and there's a picture of me and him. It's one of my favorite pictures. So
Yeah.
I designed it really in memory of him, even though I have 2 cats. Now I love them, but he was with me for so many years.
Yes, I am also a cat person. I have a dog too now. I have like 2 cats and a dog. And it's interesting. And so when I was a baby, my parents were like these animal people. They rescue and love every kind of animal. So as a baby in the crib, my dad had rescued a baby bobcat.
Oh, wow.
So in the crib next to me, I had Spot the bobcat, and he was back when he was healthy. My dad always wanted to be a vet, so he, worked with other vets and fixed this little bobcat Spot. And I remember asking, was Spot a dog or a cat? When I was a little older, no, it's bobcat, and I heard the whole story. You don't remember?
Yeah, that's so cool.
It was so, and then we had an orangutan, a baby monkey.
Oh my gosh.
And that monkey used to pull my hair out. So one day I went to the LA Zoo with my kids, and I heard the gorilla was loose, and I left. I was no.
I didn't have any kind of those animals growing up.
It traumatized me just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we had a cat that we had for almost 18 years. And this cat, my dad rescued before my dad passed away, and bottle fed this cat. He rescued and gave us this cat, and that cat thought it was a person. It slept in my daughter's crib, so we followed the tradition.
Oh, that's cute.
And then I would take her on walks in the stroller, and that cat would go on walks and make all the dogs in the neighborhood upset. I mean, there was some barking, but the cat was on, it was family walk.
I've tried to put my cat in a harness, and somebody actually asked me if my cat was okay because he was shrieking so loud. We had to go back inside.
Yeah, we didn't have anything on the cat. The cat just like jumped in there, stayed there. I mean, it was because it was bottle fed from
I can see that.
It was so different. It would sit on your shoulder like a bird.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and it was hard. It was hard when we lost that cat too. And I still have a big plaque for the cat in the yard, a metal plaque that I've brought from home to home. And I still feel the presence of my pets that have gone.
I absolutely do too. And that's why my line was really for him, or designed around him, not for him. He's obviously dead, but around him. Because he was such a big part of my life.
An inspiration for sure.
Yes.
Yes. And some of your other designs, tell me more about like some of the accessories.
Yeah, so like I said, I have some little pet accessories. They're super like little tags. They're super fun. So I actually do custom accessories as well, and custom t-shirts and hoodies, I should mention. So if you have a design you like, then go ahead and reach out to me, and I can do that. I do towels and pillows. So there's are some fun accessories. I love my pillowcases. They're super soft. And the beach towels are amazing. They match the bathing suits.
Oh, I love
So yeah, get your bathing suit beach towel. I'm working on some cover-ups right now.
Mhm.
So that will be cute to match all of those. So you can get all three of those at once. And I'm also working on earrings. I actually am hand making earrings. So I'm really excited to release those,
Mm.
but it's a process to do so.
Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah.
the idea of the towels and the swimsuits that match with the little cover-ups.
Yes.
I mean, imagine me. I was this little girl and I was dressed in the cutest little outfits. I had my little swimsuits matched, everything matched.
Mhm.
And then I also, undergarments, they always matched. I was like, well,
Yes.
you can't buy them to match nowadays. You go,
Yeah, they all match.
what's that?
Yes, I like matching items. You can mix and match if you want, but I like matching items, and that's how I display them and show them to people to purchase.
That's so fun and wonderful to have. So now, how can people learn more about your business and maybe see what you have to offer? Where can they go for that?
Yeah, so they can go to my website, which is wickedcatclothing.com. And you can email me at wickedcatclothing@gmail.com. But you can also find that in my About page. I have a little section where you can email me. I'm really active on Instagram, so find me at Wicked Cat Clothing. And then on Facebook at Wicked Cat Clothing as well. And I'm always doing specials. Every holiday that comes out, even though it's not Halloween, I do specials, but I do specials throughout. I'm going to be doing a live sale in 2 weeks. And so you want to check Facebook and Instagram for that. And just throughout, I do specials and collabs with other Instagram influencers and paranormal people.
Oh, I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I want to hear more about the paranormal connection.
Sure. So I'm actually tonight, I'm doing a live ghost hunting event. And I'm on the moderator and I give away one of my items if people can guess a question that happened in the ghost hunt. So I do that. And then I'm also collaborating with a ghost hunting team that is doing a boot camp for ghost hunters. So I am sponsoring their new company they're doing. So I used to host a paranormal podcast, so I've interviewed a lot of people in the paranormal, and it's so cool. From when I was little, my grandma was a psychic, and so I've always been immersed in the paranormal. It never has scared me. I love horror movies. It's entertaining to me. I don't see things, but I feel things. So like you talked about your pets, you think they're
Right.
still with you. I definitely feel like I feel them as well. So I
Mm,
don't see anything, but it doesn't scare me. I think it's as scary as you want to make it. And I think Hollywood makes it scarier than it really is. So I personally am into the paranormal for
right.
it as, I don't want to say entertainment, but it's just part of my life. My husband hates it. He accepts me for doing it, but
Right.
he doesn't like it. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. That is something that we do tend to have generational. I think
Hmm.
my mother was very psychic. I get the downloads. I'll get the dreams or the visions or the whatever, and I actually end up with my daughter having the same situation. And so we'll get, even at 5 years old, I was I knew my neighbor passed away.
Wow.
I said, "Grandma, George is gone." And he kissed me on the cheek and he left me a bag of money. And she said, "Oh, go back to sleep." Later on, Thelma, his wife, came over and said, "Yeah, in the night the ambulance got him. They were quiet because he was already gone, and so I wouldn't have heard that." And she brought a little bag, a sack of coins, silver dollars that he had left for me.
Wow.
And I get chills now.
Yeah, exactly.
It was something, and my grandmother was like, "Oh, there's nothing. There's no such thing. That's just, a coincidence." But it's something that now scientifically we're finding that this paranormal is more normal than
Mhm.
people want to admit.
Yeah.
And it's just some people are more tapped into that intuition than others, and there's a way to like bring that out. But I think it's almost like we were told that that's just, a coincidence, and we forget how connected we've always been
I
since.
think so. Like, for instance, I told you I'd started last October, and then November, some personal things happened. So I was like, forget this. But January, I had this dream. And Tommy, my cat that I have the clothing line based off of, the dream, he came to me and he was crying, like, that cat cry, because my grandma was trying to take him to put him down, which she was the one that put him down. He needed to go down. It was time. But he was like crying at me to not be put down. I just briefly mentioned this to my friend the next day, and she's like, I think he's saying, don't put your clothing line down. Get started again. So that, like, literally the next day after I told her that, I was like right back on it. So that's what prompted my interest back in, I guess you could say.
Oh, well, I love it.
Yeah.
Do you have special plans for this Halloween? I know it's a ways off, but it's usually you plan early in the industry to get things ready for then.
You do. I can tell you that I'm going to be going to New Orleans for Halloween. So
Mm.
I'm going to be working with a friend on a collab. So I don't have it all ironed out at the moment, but stay tuned.
Wow, that sounds so fun. And now the most current thing you're doing is a ghost hunt.
Yes, I'm doing a live ghost hunt. If anyone has heard of Waverly Hills Sanatorium, it's supposedly the most haunted sanatorium in the United States. So
Mm.
the team is going to be spending the night there. I am going live with them for an hour to moderate. I moderate ghost hunts probably every other week. I do with this team, but this is going to be a big one. Like, people from all over the US are flying in to help with this investigation.
Wow. And is that
Yeah.
thing that's going to be filmed somewhere that people can tune in to see, or?
Yeah, so it's going to be filmed Instagram live, and then the team always uploads it to Instagram, and then I share it out on my Instagram, so you can view it on Wicked Cat Clothing,
Wow.
and also on my Facebook page. I'll be sharing the clips from it.
Oh, wow. My
Yeah.
daughter and I are going to tune into that.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, how exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, Stephanie. We are running out of time. So share one more time how people can connect with you.
Sure. You can reach me at wickedcatclothing.com or at wickedcatclothing@gmail.com. And then my about page, you can find everything about me and send me a quick email through there. Also on Instagram at Wicked Cat Clothing, and then Facebook at Wicked Cat Clothing.
All right. Thank you. And for those tuning in, we'll be back after these messages.